The following podcast is an enTICEing media production.
Where the Nell have you been? Join us for conversation about life, business, and everything in between. Welcome to What the Nell, where we've got stories to tell. Here's your host, Nell Tice.
Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another brand new episode of the What the Nell podcast with yours truly, Nell Tice. Got another solo episode today because this is going to be the last solo episode or regular episode of the year for 2024 for What the Nell. When you listen to this, if you're listening to it on its debut day, which is Tuesday, December 17th, 2024, the next episode that comes out will be an Ecopreneur's Edge edition. It'll be the last one in season 1, and then we will continue with season 2 in that because apparently you guys really like that series. So we're bringing it back and we have some really cool plans for season 2 of it. But I wanted to mention today that this will be the last episode of What the Nell solo episode for 2024 because I am taking the week of New Year's off to kind of regroup and reconfigure some things. It's all staying alive. What the Nell is very much alive and well. But I wanted to take a break, first of all, for the holidays because it's crazy as always. And, just kind of think about organizational things going into 2025. I will be, like this episode, I'm going to be very honest and open. It's been really difficult trying to keep the guest thing going lately. And I don't really know, maybe it's just a season or an era, as our Swiftie friends would call it, of, just like change or transition or something. I've had a lot of guests planned and even scheduled for meet and greets and scheduled recordings and things like that. And I've had a lot of no-shows. I've also had a lot of people go through the meet and greet process and just don't schedule the recording. And, I don't know why that is, but rather than trying to spend time figuring it out, I just move forward. And that's with anything that you're doing that you're trying to consistently, put a product out and people expect every week, you just got to keep going. I could very easily say, sorry, guys, no episode this week because so-and-so canceled or my guest didn't show up or whatever. And instead I just find a topic that I think maybe might resonate with you guys and record on it anyway. So that's what I've been doing a lot of. And honestly, today is not really any different. I know it's the holidays, it's very busy, and it's really hard for people to make it. However, I just do the same thing and move forward. But then I realized, you know what? I've been wanting to do this episode anyway. I wanted to do one like this to wrap up the end of the year and kind of go through everything and kind of give you an idea of what's to come. So this is the perfect opportunity to do that. And just a couple of housekeeping notes in the meantime. For 2025, my first speaking gig is coming up actually very quickly. It is on January 18th in Mamaroneck, New York. And it's from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. It's on a Saturday. It is a podcasting event, so I'm actually speaking on the importance of quality audio and video for your podcast. Very excited. The event is being put on by John Emery, who is your host of Life's Checkmark podcast, and he's got other attendees and speakers in the podcasting realm. We're going to cover everything, every topic of importance to you if you are launching a new podcast or you're just looking for some motivation and ideas to keep going, maybe just want to learn something to level up your current podcast. It's all for you. So definitely if you're in the area, January 18th, Mamaroneck, New York, it's at the White Room, and I'm very excited about that. It is also a free event, but you do have to register. So take advantage of that. If you're considering going, just do it. Just sign up because spots will fill up very quickly. The link to register will be in the show notes, so have no fear. Yeah, so basically that's about a month away. I'm super excited about that. And, I love speaking. So, and it's a topic that I happen to know a bit about. So come see me and come learn all about podcasting at this event. So that is happening, and I'm trying to think about anything coming up for the end of the year. I know it just like seems like one of those, it's like time doesn't exist right now. Where I saw something this morning on Instagram, like we're officially in Let's Circle Back in 2025 season. It's like the longest 2 weeks of the year, yet like the shortest. I don't know. But, as we head into the new year, I do just kind of want to give you an update on how things have been going and where we're expecting things to go. So let's just knock it right out. So enTICEing media wise, we're doing good. We're coming into year 5 and really like mind blowing actually that's happening. But yeah, we're pretty much on track with where we said we wanted to be at the end of this year. So that's good. I actually wanted to be a little further along than we are, but I think that comes with the territory with anybody setting a goal. You're like, yeah, it'd be cool if I could reach that goal and go past it. But 2025 is going to be a really pivotal year for enTICEing media. And I do have goals that are maybe a little loftier than the ones that we set this year. So, I do expect and I feel a lot of shift coming. I don't know what that means, but I'm open to it, welcoming it, and that's kind of that for the moment. So it's going to be pivotal. I definitely see a change coming, however that looks for enTICEing media. I'm not exactly sure, but I completely overhauled our website and branding towards the end of this year, which felt really good, felt fresh. It almost feels like we can be more confident in selling the brand and presenting the brand because we're a little more proud of it. If you haven't heard the story about how the original branding came along, maybe dig a little deeper into some of these episodes, but quite frankly, it was not good. And as they say, start messy. So that's what we did. And we just Canva was on our side. I wanted gray and yellow colors because I felt like, oh, we're, male, female company. Like we need to have masculine and feminine. And I don't know, it just didn't work. And I think I may have also had a couple of glasses of wine when I actually designed the logo. So full disclosure, that's how it came to be. But I can tell you that I completely soberly redid the branding this year and pretty proud of it. That's about it for enTICEing media, because I think we did go a little more in depth to that in a goals episode. I don't even remember the name of it, but back in November, we did basically like a where do we hope to go episode. So more details there. Shifting now to the podcasts. I just mentioned that What the Nell is very much here to stay. As far as I know, the Drunk Squirrel is as well. I kind of let them do their thing. And, they have their following. It's interesting because whenever you do these types of things, you kind of never know where it's going to go. You have expectations. They're usually not what you expect. So they've taken on a little bit more of a local following here in our Lebanon, South Central Pennsylvania area, which is pretty cool because they do have local business owners and other local people that they talk to. So it makes a lot of sense. And, the two, Kenny and Rob, are very local, especially Rob is very active in the local community. So it makes all the sense in the world. But they're growing and it's fun. If they have plans, they haven't told me. So kudos to them. They've been at this now for 2 full years. So it's a lot of work. And, it's just, we're grateful for everyone that listens and loving it. So that's an update on the Drunk Squirrel. What the Nell? Yeah. told you exactly what's going on. We're staying. I do have interviews lined up with guests because I do want to continue to interview guests. If you think you would make a great guest, I would love to have you. Check us out in the show notes. You can definitely sign up to have a meet and greet and see if we're a good fit to record. Definitely recommend doing that. I have put the link for the meet and greet in countless Facebook groups and I haven't had hardly any response. So that's kind of confusing because that was working really well for a while to the point where I'd have to take the posts down because I was getting so many requests. So it's different seasons. So I do have guests lined up. Hopefully they stick to somewhat of a recording schedule and we can get some cool people in front of you as well there. So that's that. Our radio shows on Sandcastle Radio, we've got 3 of them. The original On the Road with Kenny and Nell, which was the second show ever to air on Sandcastle Radio, still going strong past 2 years. We did announce earlier that we will be shifting a little bit more towards lifestyle rather than just travel on the road because, quite frankly, as different seasons occur in life, we've had a little bit less travel. And I would say normally, and I think we've wanted to, but quite honestly, I'm pretty excited about what we've done and where we're going in life. And I obviously want that to include travel. It has become kind of like, all right, well, if we're not busy, then we'll go travel somewhere. And that directly relates to the YouTube channel, which I'll get to sooner rather than later. But we do have travel plans for 2025. I will say that because that's just who we are. But there have been some instances this year that have kind of not deterred me or soured me necessarily, but disheartened me a little bit on travel. And it's become pretty expensive, and we're not the type of travelers that can just hop on a cruise ship and say we've seen the world. We're also not the type of travelers anymore to just go to an all-inclusive resort and say we're traveling the world. And I'm looking for more in-depth experiences when we travel, and that requires a lot of time and planning, and it on all ends of it, during the trip, before the trip, and after the trip, because we use our travels as content for what we do sometimes. So it's a big process. And I think that ultimately what we have to do is just figure out and settle into where we fit in this, and including travel in our lifestyle, but not making it this huge primary focus where it becomes a burden, because that's also not what we're trying to do either. We don't want to burn out on it. So when it becomes less of like something we have to do versus something that we really want to do is, I think, where we want to kind of stay in that spot. And right now that just feels good. So that kind of directly then leads me into the YouTube channel. I will say the YouTube channel has been a little surprising lately. We've seen more growth there than we have in anything else that we've done. But actually, no, wait, hold on, back up. I forgot about the other radio shows. You guys, there's a lot of content and sometimes it is hard to keep up with. But I will say Kenny's show, Flip Flops and Beer on Sandcastle. If you haven't listened, you probably should. It's a really fun time. Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern. And he features, it's a tropical rock radio show. So Jimmy Buffett style music. But he features a lot of independent artists from the trop rock scene. And they have taken a liking to him and his show. And there's a chat where all the artists are in during the live show of every Wednesday night. And it's just so much fun. It's really a way of life. And we've gotten to know and meet some of these artists. And so it's just been a really cool, wild ride. The show is hugely popular. It's definitely not going anywhere. And, we hope to do more with it in 2025. So, there's festivals and things all over the place. So I definitely think that at least one or two of those will be in our travel plans for this year too. And that's the other thing. A lot of our travel plans now revolve around stuff that's going on in the business. So, that's just the way life goes. So that's doing awesome. My 90s Revenge with Nell show is also doing really well. It's interesting how different audiences react. And if you think about a 90s radio show audience, like the listeners of 90s music, I think that those listeners grew up in an era like I did where there wasn't really social media as we were listening to this music. You went to concerts and things like that, but it was a very disconnected era in the way of socially, like we couldn't just text people when we wanted and things like that. And I think the listeners, it's interesting because we get comments behind the scenes, not necessarily during live shows sometimes. And the 90s listeners are just that. They're behind the scenes. They're listening and they're there, but they don't do a lot of interacting, which is kind of cool in a way because I kind of feel like I'm like one-on-one, like intimate show with them. They're listening intently and I'm doing the show intently for listeners, which is really cool. And, if you do want to chat live, there is always that option too. I definitely welcome that. But, it feels like a real nostalgic 90s frame of mind to be in when I'm doing that show. And I love it. People do like it and they do comment. So I know they're listening, but it's doing really well. So that'll definitely keep going for sure. So now to the YouTube channel, definitely the most growth in numbers that we have seen this year. I don't even remember where we started the year at. I think it was just over 1,000 subscribers, but we are now over 6,000 subscribers at the time of this podcast recording. And the things that we've actually changed in 2024 are posting regularly, like every other week, so that people know exactly when to expect videos. So that's proof that consistency works. We release videos religiously every other week. I don't know that we've missed a week this year. We have beforehand, we were posting a video maybe once a month and sometimes skipping a month or doing once every other week sometimes, and then back to a month. So it was less consistent. Now we're seeing that consistency pay off. And certainly other things like, popular topics and a little bit of SEO behind videos helps, but growth like this is really only going to come from consistency. We also have made it a point to infuse our personalities even more so in our videos. Some of them look kind of quirky. Sometimes you see like little things pop up on the screen and the music's a little quirky and we have jokes and things like that. And I used to get very detailed about that stuff and try to filter some of it out because I thought our audience really just wanted information and didn't want any of the fluff and things like that. And I was wrong. Anytime you do anything authentically with your personality shining through, I think that's where you're going to shine. And that also is proof that people are resonating with that. And it's really cool. We're getting more comments on our videos. Some of them good and some of them not so good. But, I really feel like that's a true sign of you're making it, you're doing it. We had a comment recently that I just came across from a couple of months ago where the guy just literally said, "You guys suck ass." And it was kind of like, you just gotta chuckle when you read that comment because they felt compelled to type that out. You had some sort of an effect on them. And I also appreciate the engagement. So, that's feeling really good. We're going to keep that going. As promised in the beginning of 2024, our YouTube channel is going to be a little more hodgepodge. Definitely still travel, but we're going to incorporate more lifestyle stuff like projects around the house. I know you guys really seem to like when we do that. And we have some plans for 2025 in the way of home improvement, get ready, because I think we just kind of committed to something fairly large for us. We're not builders. We don't really do a lot of that stuff. So if you enjoy watching people doing things that they're not qualified to do, you'll want to tune into Kenny and Nell on YouTube. So, yeah, that's pretty much it as far as an update and where things are going. Also, actually, before I forget, another update. What the Nell was, for whatever reason, not available on the Spotify app for quite some time. It was on the Spotify website, but the only way you could access What the Nell was through the website. And finally, I've mentioned to get that fixed. After months of research and trying to do it and contacting people, finally got in touch with the right person that was able to help me get What the Nell back on the app. And I know that has affected our numbers, unfortunately. But you know what? We're back up and running. So you can listen to us through the app now, which is fantastic. If you are a Spotify listener, I have thoughts on Spotify that I will save for another episode. But yes, please utilize that and leave us a review. I know I say that all the time and probably sound like a broken record, but it really is how we are able to grow and come up with new topics and get new guests for you and add more value to these episodes for you. So if you have thoughts or anything, get in touch with me. I am here. Please. So don't just be one of those people that's like, yeah, I listened to the episode and it really sucked. Like, give me the feedback. I want to know. And if there's something that I could be doing better, I want to know. So definitely do that. And I'm probably going to try to be a little more interactive with you guys. You know, we are on Facebook. We have a Facebook group. It's public. What the Nell podcast. Join there. Get new information about episode uploads before the episodes are released. And that's usually where I search for guests first. But yeah, polls and things like that, I'll be doing forms. So if you can give us some feedback, that would be great. If you want to participate in them, we're also on Instagram, What the Nell podcast. So yeah, it's been a crazy year, and I can't believe we're saying that 2025 is right around the corner. I'm sure you're in the same boat and things are just flying by. Hopefully all good things are flying by for you and all good things are to come. So I'm going to wrap this one up here. I do want to say a very, very heartfelt thank you for all of the listeners and viewers. If you are on YouTube or wherever you get this podcast, thank you for listening. I really, truly do appreciate it. And I would love to hear from you more often, you know, guest ideas. You know, if there's somebody that you think would be a great guest, if it's you or someone else, someone that might need to hear an episode, pass it along, share it with a friend. You know, this is really, truly how we can keep things going here and be effective and valuable for you. I'm really proud to say that I'm at episode 141. Like, that is not, that's not really normal. You know, most podcasters quit before they get to episode 10. So I'm really proud of this, and I want to keep it going, and I want to have more value for you, and I want to see you guys be more involved with it. So thank you so, so much for listening and participating when you do, and even just liking a reel or an image or anything on social media. Absolutely love that. I appreciate your support. And yeah, we're just going to keep it going. And I really hope that you are having a magical December, spending all of the time with people that you love and doing all the things that you want to do. So definitely Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I wish you all the best in the new year. I can't wait to come back with some more awesome content for you. So again, thank you so, so much, and I will catch you in 2025.
To learn more about how to tell your story, Connect with Nell at enTICEingmedia.com. That's ENTICEING media.com. Thanks for listening to the What the Nell podcast.